agree, but they tell you more right to them. None of them did it when Jesus found that day, and the family did generally don't care to murder you for them. Envious and crafty. You don't see a David, fear for them, but like you said, David, I'm a fear for them. You see me like when they sing until the David, and if I think you're tough, you said the system, I'm a place for them. Never find you up behind the glass, and go for you, friend. If I want to sleep, you said the tower. Make your bed and pave it and close the open gates and make a late rest, dog. Make a late rest, the system set away, my friend. Politician want we vote for them. Fisherman love sea, so them never build a boat, give them. Them full way up a promise and one bag of last soap, my friend, for vote for them like Kobe them and Memphis them and Cody friend. Rifle shot me use and close the door for them. But it's a story I'm used to tell me living the life. I'm feeling so hype, no. And this a feeling a nice. Me living the life. I'm feeling so hype, no. And this a feeling a nice. Me living the life. I'm feeling so hype, no. And this a feeling a nice. Me living the life. I'm feeling so hype, no. Daddy gone from me at 5. Mommy I struggle that I'm a baby days. Did I pray to get rich? From a tender age, my while me home alone. Cause she in the street like every day. Me say, me can't wait to get big dog. And help my mother pay every way. And make me sis happy every week, more while every year. Start go school now, do my work. And I get my grade. But me not trust nobody. So you know me heart did stay away.
Yeah, so the whole point to that is I love reggae. You know what I'm saying? Reggae to the max, out of mercy. So, everybody want to take care of the family. Everybody want to do good, you know. If not, guess what? What's left? What's left, you know? So this is why I'm saying, you know, to the younger generation, with all due respect, you know, I'm literally trying to pave the way for awareness in this crypto field, right? Because I'm not sure who's doing that. And maybe there are some people, of course, I'm not saying I'm the only one, but true say, you know, we have to wake up. You know, I look at myself like, you know, not too long ago, I was 18, you know, working at Walmart, packing them trailers and trucks, you know. I feel like that was not too long ago. And I feel like I wish I tapped into some of the resources that maybe was available to me at that time. You know, I did tap into some and I found my way. I had good friends and family and support. But, you know, in terms of where the internet is now, I think it's like light years away from where, you know, I seen it began, you know, a long time ago. So this whole digital awakening, I would say, think back to 2020, as hard as that may be for some. Think back to 2020 and see the world just like a month before all this pandemic and stuff, right? Think back to how it was. Maybe even look at some news, you know, read some articles, look at some videos of what was transpiring globally. What was happening in Australia, what was happening in Europe, what was happening in Saudi, what was happening in Trinidad and Tobago, what was happening in, you know, Jamaica, you know, what was happening in New York, what was happening in Miami, what was happening in Los Angeles, who was flying where, what were they doing, how were their lives, what was social media like? Because then we had a pause, and it's called the Great Reset, right? We went through the Great Depression back in the 30s, right? Where none of us was even existing, or we weren't even a thought, you know. Many of us, I'm talking about a lot of people of us who are probably going to be watching this video, definitely we weren't a thought back then, right? Our, you know, our forefathers were, our parents were, maybe our grandparents, right? So we went into something deep last year, and all I can see in the news right now is crime is increasing staggeringly, you know, at a staggering rate, you know, which is not good. That means there's not much opportunities, right? Our global population, we're growing, you know. The global population has, like, I think, right, doubled since I was a kid, right? So that's a long time ago. So now we're at what, probably 8 billion, thereabouts, maybe 7 to 9 billion, I don't know. But that was a long way from like 4 billion, maybe 5 billion. That's a hell of a long way. So we had this great reset, right? And we were the world, this whole world, you were born, you were vaccinated for whatever stuff, we were born into this fiat money system, right? Sure. I will work for the hour and make X amount of dollars. I will take that dollars and then it will, allow me to buy, certain, X amount of thing, right? So, and the value of that dollar has been decreasing. Now, to compensate that, sure, if you have cutting edge skills, guess what? Maybe you can land a nice job, great pay. Likely you would be requiring experience to do so, right? So you just can't jump out the gate, brand new from university out the block, and then guess what? You're killing it with 6 figures. It doesn't happen to everybody. It does happen, but it doesn't happen to everybody. And you will likely need your experience to come up, start hitting 200K, 250, then ask yourself, what's next? A milli, anything is possible, right? Like, people out there do that. So we were born into this fiat system, right? It was by design. So now what we are encroaching upon is a breakthrough in terms of the mindset. Why? Because of that great reset that I just mentioned, right? So the great reset just occurred last year. It might be 2 years ago, it could be a year and a half ago. If it came to the point where you had to say, oh, the reset happened 5 years ago, that's still minuscule and still nothing compared to the next 100 years. What's going to happen to the next 100 years as population grows, things, supplies become more in demand? What do you think is going to happen? The rising costs, right? Supply, demand, the rising cost of food, the rising cost of labor. We are faced with artificial intelligence, right? Where everything is done for us, right? Those who can afford it can go out there and say, yeah, sure, I can automate this, I can automate that, right? Simple thing as having an internet connection. I actually took that for granted. Even if I was in technology for 2 decades plus, I took that for granted, thinking that, hey, you know what? Okay, Canada's got it under lock, North America, we got it under lock. Okay, maybe many countries in the world have broadband and stuff like that. But then I slowly began to realize through the lens of crypto that, hey, you know what? Not everybody has a broadband connection, but a lot of people do. And that quality of broadband connection significantly differs from geographic region to the next geographic region, right? And I saw that as very interesting due to the fact that after the Great Reset, more and more people, more and more companies are using and utilizing bandwidth. So Netflix and all these big telecom companies had to throttle the internet connection. So if you were paying for some high speed stuff, you might notice a degradation, right? You might notice some spottiness here and there because everybody wants the same thing all at once. And they noticed that internet traffic was, kind of getting overloaded last year, right? So in the background, they have to beef up their infrastructure. We have to roll out 5G, whether people like it or not. It's coming, it's a necessity. And this is the evolution of technology. This is the absolute evolution of technology. There's not a thing, there's not a person that I don't know that does not use technology. There's not a person that I don't know that does not use technology. So we all use technology. We all are comforted by technology and what it can do for us potentially, whether it's making great music videos, we have drones flying in the air, so we don't have to rent a helicopter. Say, hey, you know what, I'm going to do this and, rent a little mini helicopter and fly around and take some footage. No, we don't have to do that anymore. Through technology, we can actually get, a small device to fly up in the air and take these beautiful, amazing aerial footage, right? So times have changed, and without us maybe even realizing it. And that's my message. Like, hey, let's stop and realize this. We're all on Instagram, we're all on Facebook, we're all on this, we're all on that. How 15 rewind back, 15 years ago, did we really know that we would be this far? 15 years from now, how would you be using, or your children, how would they be using cash? What would be the definition of cash? What would be the definition of cash in terms of, can they live without it? Can they not have this in their life, right? We're all going to need something, an exchange of value. What is it that would be most valuable to mankind in the next 20 years? So when everybody in today's world is still feeling and reeling from the effect of COVID-19, the financial implications, personal implications, the mental health implications, the physical implications. A lot of people are lost, maybe some may not even know. I'm just saying, let's take a look at this crypto universe together. And I know a lot of people are out there doing that too and trying to spread that message. So I think everybody gets it right now, which is a good thing. They probably just don't know what to buy. What is a good project and why, right? So there's a few out there that I've probably highlighted in my video. But regardless of all that fact, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just looking at the world as we evolved in a digital universe and a deeper digital realm, right? Unbeknownst to many, but that's the direction we're going, right? There's no two ways about it. Your camera, look at me. I had to go and look for a nice camera. Then I realized I needed a microphone. I'm new to this, right? This wasn't my playing field. It wasn't my playground, right? But I as well have to adapt, right? So what am I going to do? I can study so much. I can realize so much. I can think so much where I say, hey, you know what? I see everybody popping up a YouTube channel. Man, let me talk about something and try to steer society and guide communities at large, right? Into this, as we transition into this digital ecosystem, this digital financial system that I will be a part of, you will be a part of eventually. It's happening, right? So on the agenda, this week is the last week of September. It might be a very red one, right? It's always an opportunity, right? So always look for opportunities, even during the hardest of times. I remember last year, September, about a year ago, right? I kept buying, right? I kept trying to use a Visa to buy crypto, and it worked. The 1-2 times it worked, and all of a sudden, guess what? Maybe the Visa company wised up and they're like, nope, you can't use this anymore. So this is the tough thing, right? You're not being able to purchase comfortably, but you got to keep trying, right? That's what I did. So eventually they're going to open it up, but there are great companies that can work with you, that I mentioned as well previously, some tidbits here and there. But you can look them up. They're companies that you can wire money, you can get your money in there, and or there's Bitcoin machines, right? There's Bitcoin machines all over the place. I think they take cash, so you can simply learn how to do that, right? I can't teach everything on here, but what I can say is, hey, you know what? things like chain link. It's boring now, sure. I made some money, I sold it, and that's it. So I got to get back into that, right? There's always going to be a need for, hey, I made some money. Now, I guess what? I've been waiting 6 months. I've been waiting a year. Man's got bills to pay, you know what I mean? So you might want to take that, pay your bills, and then guess what? Now you're starting from scratch again, right? So I'm trying to identify some projects that I think will do great. So MTV, which is called Multivac, that's one of them that I'm keeping my eye on. Dent is another coin that, that one, if it does go back to its all-time high of 10 cents, or even if it exceeds it, that'll be just like a lucky day. I don't think that'll happen so easily. I thought it would have 6 months ago, but given everything I've seen transpired in 6 months, but anything is possible. But that's another thing, coin that could probably do really well. They were, and I don't know if they still are, they might still be, but they were listed on the Apple's website as a wireless carrier, right? So Dent, which is called short for Dent Wireless, they are the first mobile data on the blockchain, right? So they can, if you visit dentwireless.com, you can see what they are doing and what they're aiming to accomplish through their project. So that's it. I'm still getting set up here and there. I'm trying to do my thing. I don't want to make it boring. I want to, crypto can be very exciting and it can be very boring sometimes. It's the same old chart, it's the same old this, and just sometimes just want to take a breather and kick back, like keep a finger on the pulse, know what's happening, smile, get through it, learn how to put your money into it, position size. These are the same things the experts show you or show me. I'm basically letting you know that, right? So I'm paying for that knowledge, and they say, guess what? Position size. I didn't believe them before. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna put too much into this and that, and but then that led to stress-related problems, right? Because now I'm taking all my money, dumping it somewhere, and that's, it could lead to stress, right? When the market fluctuates up and down. But if you position size and you say, look, I don't need 5% of my money, so put it there, see what happens. And then something like the last year may happen where you see, oh my goodness, 300%, but now you want to put like 20%, right? Instead of that 5%. So I'm not here to tell you what your risk tolerance is. I'm just saying, be careful. I'm not a financial advisor. This is a brand new technology. I'm just saying that through what I do know is that institutions are adopting this like crazy. And look at that. PayPal came out and says, oh, we are now going to allow people to buy crypto. So I live in Canada, and I logged into PayPal and I couldn't see the option to buy cryptos. It's not yet available to everybody in all regions, but it's soon come. It'll soon to come. It'll reach at some point within the next 6 months, a year. Hopefully, actually, I was going to talk about hopefully the regulations, speed up, improve. But look at UK. The UK, they actually were trying to suppress it a bit, and now they allowed PayPal to sell Bitcoin, exchange Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum. That's a huge deal, right? Those guys are getting innovative. So now they're accepting it. And now you have the countries like Canada where only certain companies are maybe being allowed to get through the gate. I don't know. I'm not one of them. I haven't tried. I don't know what my business, purpose might be. I see a lot of people spinning up their YouTube, and they have, their Discord. That's great, and kind of sometimes it's the same old, right? And sometimes I think what it is more than anything else is people need a voice of reason, just like I did, right? When I invested too much, and then I hear this professional voice come online and says, hey, don't worry, just position size, go enjoy your time, with your friends, your family, enjoy your own time. This is something that's happening. And I didn't get that at first, right? So I went through this thing. I was like, I'm going to throw a lot of it, and then, when it pumped up, I was like, yes. And, looking at the screen, it's like nice. It's a green screen. And if you don't do anything about it, guess what? The next day it goes back down and you're like, damn it, I lost everything. So I've lived through all of that. So I'm here to publicly broadcast that, and I don't care. I'm not hiding those feelings or those frustrations anymore, right? Because it could really have a negative impact on your life. And that's what when I experienced that, I was like, damn, I got to make sure and tell people like, this is no small thing. This is, if you're investing something, be able to think in your head and your mind, hey, I can live without that. So if you put a 500, if you put 1,000, I know some teenagers put like 10 grand, and all of a sudden the 10 grand turned into 1 grand or 500. And guess what? Take a deep breath, and that's like losing your life savings for some, right? So I couldn't imagine that, but it did happen. I know pop stars went from 2 million or 10 million to 2 million, 2 million to almost nothing. It happened. This whole year happened like that. So you got to really look for the gems. And guess what? When you think you found a gem, you're like, yeah, I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I found this and I did a 10x easy while everybody's suffering out there. Guess what? These coins, they go in cycles. One day one goes up, then it goes down. The next thing, the other one goes up. So nothing climbs up forever, right? It's just patience. When you get your profits, if you don't want to take it now, tell yourself, hey, you know what? I'm good leaving it for a year. But if you see some profits, hey, what's shaving off a couple grand? So if Dogecoin just surprised everybody. I never really liked that. But anyways, I left 300 in that. It went up to 70 grand because I forgot about it. I forgot about $300. What is $300, right? Okay, great. It's a lot of money still, but that's why I left it, because it's a decent amount to leave in something without having to worry about it and babysit it, right? $300 is different than 3 grand or 30 grand, right? Imagine putting 30 grand behind something like, oh my God, you're looking at that screen morning, noon, evening, and night, 7/24. But, when you're $300 in, $100 in, you might forget about that. And that's the beauty. The beauty is, setting things in motion. Sprinkle a little bit of, $100 here, maybe $100 there. I don't know, whatever anybody's budget is. It could be a couple of grand here, a couple of grand. Sprinkle it out and just leave it. Go enjoy your life. Enjoy getting back to the new reality with a clear understanding that things are going to be different. Things are going to change. Things have already been changing. Everyone's mindset has been turned and changed. Right? Some good, some bad. It's this is we're in this new world, right? I'm using Zoom to go on YouTube and live and have to get a camera, get a mic and this and that, get some lights up in here. It's not easy. And I'm grateful, and I want to use this as an opportunity to say that this forthcoming is an opportunity at that. And patience it's that old saying, patience is virtue. That's what it is, just real talk up in here, So it's on a Sunday night, let's get it.
After prayer news, humbleness got through again. Drop a high school, just touch down in the 7th grade. First fighter with a boy, we are 17, we look like 38. But through me smiling feeling could have robbed me and get away. Me slam me made in the real, the pussy face stay away. I am wrong, but through me damage him, me get the blame. Mommy cause a fuck when them send me home for a couple days. Him say my son, me see a laugh and think I sob. But me never know I saw your heart did full of rage. I'm living the life, I'm feeling so high, no. And this a feeling a nice. Me living the life, I'm feeling so high, no. And this a feeling a nice. Me living the life, I'm feeling so high, no. And this a feeling a nice. Me living the life, I'm feeling so high, no. I'm living the life, I'm feeling so high, no. And this a feeling a nice. Me living the life.